From the campus lights to the game day fight, Texas dust on the boots, packed out stands in the sun. Every school has a story, every season has one. Turn it up, lean in close, hear that crowd start to roll. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations, bring the truth, let it roll. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. For the schools beyond the spotlight, where the heart of the game still shows.
This is the Cory Hogue Sports Show for August 24th. It's another one of those Mondays. Episode number 16. Big thank you to everyone who is listening, wherever you're finding us, whatever podcast platform, or you're watching live, Facebook, Substack, or YouTube. Thank you so much. We're watching on replay. You can do that too. And you don't have to be here live. You'll just be late finding out this information we got. And we have a big show, a lot going on today. And first place you're going to be able to find a lot of stuff. It's football week. Last week, JUCO gave us a couple of appetizers. The Southwest Junior College Football Conference started with some really good weekend games. This week kicks off the football content. And coming Thursday, you're going to have we're getting to content in a minute, but you're going to find it all at the Substack. CoryHogueSports.substack.com. CoryHogue Sports. Don't forget about March to the Pod. It's got a lot of good things coming out this week as well. Ben's got some updates, recruiting updates on men's basketball. Happening. My computer has been a little slow today, and I'm not sure if that's going to hurt the quality of this show. I hope not. We'll see how that works. But back to March to the Pod. Thursday night, 6 p.m. Find us on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook on our March to the Pod page. And remember, it's the number 2. March, the number 2, the Pod, all one word. And while you find these places, our Substack, Cory Hogue Sports, anywhere you can find us on the social media, like, subscribe, follow, please. And let Gabe know I told you to, because it's very important to him that I say that. Before we get really going into a lot of things today, I want to alert you to something that happened last night. Jamar Washington, one of the loyal readers of the Substack, and just a fantastic – he loves non-FBS football, especially in Texas. So he started a Facebook page, and you can find it. You can search Texas non-FBS football. That is how it's titled. Go and like it. It's already building up members fast. At the end of this, when this publishes on Substack today, I will have a link to the group so that you can go join. It's a fantastic place to gather, to discuss football, to discuss what's going on. Definitely want to get a part of that and help us grow. It's going to help everyone grow along the way. And speaking of that, Jay Washington TX and YouTube said it's time. It is. And I'm so thankful that you started that Facebook page. So definitely get a part of that if you're not. Upcoming content tomorrow, power rankings. And I'll tell you, I did it's preseason power rankings, but it's also week 0 power rankings for the JUCO. There were changes after last weekend, and we're going to get into what happened in the SWJCFC last weekend. On Tuesday, I'll be joining a press conference, East Texas A&M and Mercer, ahead of the kickoff. They've got a game on ESPN this week. Tuesday, coming out on the Substack. You're not going to want to miss it. Tex West is now officially invited to the Lone Star Conference in Division II. But they're entering a conference at a real turning point. It's got decisions to make, especially the current established football sponsoring members. I have quite a big piece about that. I think You're going to find that interesting. That's coming out at 10 a.m. tomorrow on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, 5-question series concludes. United Athletic Conference. We'll have our 5 questions for them at 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. Working on a feature. I can't say that it's going to happen yet by Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday mid-morning. I'm hopeful that it can happen by then. Still trying to get some things scheduled. It all depends on how fast I can get some things turned around. Working on a feature story I think you're going to enjoy as well. And don't forget, Thursday, the war map comes out. The weekend war map for week 0 comes out, and also going to publish the stream guide. And on the scores page on CoryHogueSports.substack.com, there will be a stream guide, links to every single game that I can find. If there's video, it's linked there. If there's stats that I can find, it'll be linked there. And that will come out Thursday, because Thursday is a big night, not just for FCS football, non-FBS across Texas. There will be multiple teams playing on Thursday. So we will have that page, and then we will keep that updated throughout the weekend. Before we get into the SWJCFC weekend results, we have to always start with an update on earn, effort, attitude, response. No quit, no excuses. And today we're talking about something that's going to seem a little odd. Now, there's a few coaches that I hold in a high esteem. I believe there are just a few. There's a number of coaches, and I hope the number grows, that they understand it. They get it. They know what it is to build, what it takes to have consistent success, because that's what we're all building for here, consistent success. One of those, Keeler, who is now at Temple, formerly Sam Houston. Sam Houston. Then you have Jason Eck, New Mexico. That guy's won everywhere he's been. D2, FCS, Idaho. Now he's at New Mexico and doing great things, and will continue to do great things there. And there's a few others that I can do, but today we're going to go women's basketball route. And there is one coach that has the full it factor, and that is Molly Miller at Arizona State. She came up through the D2 ranks as well. Then she went and turned Grand Canyon into just a perennial winner. And now she's at Arizona State. And last year, they had a really good season to start. She's building something. I promise you. These coaches I identify, winners win. And they win because they know what it takes to be consistent. Nick Saban. Put him in that cat. These are those in that category of Nick Saban. They know what the process is. They know how you have to earn those victories. So here is what Molly Miller had to say on something that's a little taboo. Jesus, it's Monday. A little taboo. And it's about normalizing mistakes. Let's listen to what she had to say on a recent podcast.
On one hand, how many bad practices we had last year. We just were a great practice team. We didn't have bad practices. When we did, the intensity and effort was low. You know, our mistakes compounded themselves, and that's when we have to huddle up, and I call it a culture check. So if we're hanging our head on a mistake, you know, I remind them, like, we're normalizing mistakes by having a next play mentality. I'm not seeing that right now. So let's huddle up in our culture check, try to fix it, and move on. So when you do have a bad practice, those things hadn't gotten fixed, or there wasn't that turnover of a shift in mindset. But really, I think that's why I have culture checks during practice, is you can kind of nip those things right away. You can address it, you can fix it, then you can move on. And that's, I think, why we have a lot of good practices. We have these culture checks in the middle of practice if things aren't going right.
That is why she wins. And by the way, I will tell you, Molly Miller, that I am stealing your culture checks and going to institute that with the baseball team this year. Normalize mistakes. Let's dive into that just a little bit. we have made as people, we make mistakes as such a negative thing. Well, of course they are, right? You didn't do something right. But when you normalize a mistake, you know, you're understanding that mistakes are a part of life. They will happen. You're never going to get away from mistakes. You're going to make mistakes throughout the day. It's not about the mistakes. It's about letting those mistakes build. And that's what she talked about there. When they get mistakes, they start hanging their head. Guess what? That's negativity. Negativity breeds negativity. Positivity breeds positivity. If you make a mistake and you go, okay, let's go, let's shake it off, you're moving on. That's a next play mentality. That's what coaches love to talk about, that next play, the earn philosophy, win that next moment. But when you hang your head and you get that negativity, guess what? Now you've infected other people around, not just yourself. And then someone else makes a mistake. They hang their head. Now we got more heads hanging. Got to nip that in the bud quick. And I love how she does it. She calls them in, brings them in for a culture check. Hey, we're not responding the right way to our mistakes right now. We're not earning victories in this moment of practice. Let's fix that. Let's get our culture back going again. Let's make sure that our effort, our attitude, that we're responding correctly. Because listen, you do that in practice, come game time, you've made that a normal feeling for them. So if they make an error in the game, they're not going to hang their, they're not as likely to hang their head, or they're going to hear the same message. Or you know what? I'm going to call mound visits and we'll have a culture check. It's not that listen, normalizing mistakes not means making it okay. You're trying to avoid them. Normalizing mistakes, though, is the realization that we are human and they will happen. So if you don't confront the possibility and how to respond to that, if you make it feel like it's something taboo, it's something, those are just something we can't do that, then you're trying to get people that are trying to be perfect all the time. And that leads to more mistakes. Just play within yourself. Do what you know to do. You make a mistake, let's go. It happened. Can't do anything about it. Fix the next one. That is a very important lesson on that. And also, I want to say quick, Jamar Washington, I know I'm going to publish the entire clip. I still have to clip that from Friday's bus part of it, of the energy bus and who you're putting, properly placing people on your bus. I will have that fully clipped and uploaded to the Substack chat if it will let me put that in there. And by the way, thank you all for the feedback. If I will accept any feedback, positive or negative, it's all a chance to help grow. So please keep your comments, keep your emails coming. It's all a wonderful thing. Moving on. We had real football. Real football. I say it all the time. Junior college is some of the best football I watch every single year. And by the way, you can see kind of over my shoulder right now, Panama, Canada, tied at 0, top of the 4th. Shocking. I've got Little League World Series on. Back to football. SWJCFC had their week 0. And before I get into what happened and the results, we need to kind of stabilize this a little bit. It is difficult to have 3 different week 0s throughout all the different divisions of college. I know FCS and FBS are trying to normalize theirs, but listen, D3 doesn't start week 1 until I think September 5th. We're going to call it week 1. They can call it week 0. I'm calling it week 1. Week 0's this week. JUCO week 0 was last week. I can only have 1 week 0. Help me out here as your local guy that talks non-FBS football. And let's get week 0 the same. Let's all kind of start week 0 the same time so that it's not as confusing for me. And if it's confusing to me, it could be confusing to you, although there are people that can follow this a whole lot better than I can. Back to results on the field. Kicked off Thursday night. The very first college football game of 2026, number 2 Hutchinson, a perennial powerhouse nationally, hosted the Cisco Wranglers, and it did not go well. Not go well at all for Cisco from the start. It was 59-7 was the final. That one was out of hand midway through early second quarter, midway through second quarter. Hutchinson just looks absolutely dominant. I'm not going to talk because there's a chance I write about this later this week, but we got to have week 0 expectations. They got to be held in check a little bit. Resist or move away from it happened. But that data point does not mean that Cisco is going to lose all their games in the conference. I promise you, as we say often, every year, every team's worst game is their very first game. Every year, every single team. So I tend to try to not bring judgments from these week 0 games. Even if the results are positive and number for time. Head coach Brady Davis, first career number by the time the end of the it's a Christian college prep school. It's almost they are JUCO in a way, but they're almost a prep school for even JUCO. A lot of times these players might be the ones who couldn't even get who didn't have the college football. So they're trying to build up there. But good win for the Bulldogs. Good win for head coach Jacques Guillot. It's his first career head coaching victory as well. 2 of them. Congratulations to him. Navarro looking good. It is 2017. 8 games they have lost. The Bucs scored the final 21 points of the game, and we doing something every week here on Mondays. We're going to have plays of the week. And plays of the week this week solely focused on SWJCFC because they were the only one having real football. And we've got highlights from all 3 of those games. Wait until you see what Bryson Batts, running back at Blinn, can do. It's impressive. And listen, another thing about the Buccaneers, it is that offense is explosive, and we all kind of knew they would be. The question was the defense. That defense, listen, they held Kilgore scoreless throughout most of the second half. They got the stops. They kept Kilgore. Kilgore had some field goal opportunities and some missed opportunities and things of that nature, but Blinn's defense was forcing them to try those field goals. So credit to the Buccaneers. If that defense has truly made a stride forward, Blinn becomes a dangerous team because that offense is explosive, and you will see some of that coming up in the plays of the week. Couple of Monday news items that have come out. UT Rio Grande Valley, the Vaqueros, sent out a press release this morning that football game is sold out. UTRGV is hosting UT Permian Basin 7 p.m. Robert and Janet Vacker Stadium. They sold out, the 8th consecutive home sellout for UTRGV. They have sold out every home game in their entire program history right now, including the 7th from their inaugural season. The Vaqueros ranked 11th in FCS in total attendance last year. Over 87,000 people attended, 15th in average attendance of over 12,500, and 6th in percentage of capacity. They were 104.49%. I don't know that you can get much better than that. Due to the high demand, UTRGV expanded the south end zone by roughly 1,500 seats prior to this season. So now Vacker Stadium holds 13,498, up from the 12,000 it was holding. And they still don't have any seats. There were a limited number of single game tickets released Monday this morning, 8 a.m. They sold out in 1 hour. 1 hour, whatever limited seats. By the way, any additional seats for the visiting team that are not claimed and standing room only tickets will go on sale 8 a.m. Friday. I'm interested to see how long it takes for those to sell. It won't take long. Today was 1 hour. Incredible. Standing room ticket. I don't know that it's this year. I've got to get there. I've got to get to UTRGV. This is just incredible. The support, the community, how they're doing things. I've got to get down there and see this firsthand. Again, not sure this year. We'll look at games. How about that? We'll look at games and see. Not saying I'm not going to the Valley this year. We'll look and see how that goes. But an impressive job, nonetheless, by you to sell out. Love it. Thank you. The fans, that's how you build that momentum, and that equals exposure. Exposure equals money. Money equals things you can do, right? You get better. From East Texas A&M, their director of athletics, Jim Curry, has been selected to represent the Southland Conference on the NCAA Division I Football Championship Committee. Let me remind folks, Division I has one official football championship. It's not FBS. It's a whole different entity. The Division I Football Championship is the Football Championship Series, the FCS. And now, the Southland's representative is East Texas A&M's AD, Jim Curry. He is in his 4th year and was appointed to the FCS Oversight Committee last October. But now he's moving to that panel that's going to be selecting and seeding the 24 teams in the Division I FCS playoffs. And let me tell you, there is no better representative for the Southland Conference. I can think of no one I would want in that room better arguing for the Southland Conference than Jim Curry. That man is impressive in all ways, shapes, and forms. Give you a little bit. Since he arrived, they have cultivated the largest philanthropic gift in school history, the largest corporate sponsorship agreement. These things, that's money coming in. On the playing surface, they had the record number of athletes for the athletics department, most all-conference honorees during last year. That's incredible. They also achieved new highs in their academic progress rate, which does matter, and graduation rate, the reason you go to school. East Texas A&M, here's an interesting factoid from you. I mean, look, the record on the field hasn't quite been there, but they're one of only 6 schools across FCS to have an NFL draft pick, an academic All-American, and an AP first-team All-American during the past 3 years. Things are going all right out there in Commerce. They are looking up, and I think there are a lot of expectations that this year, we have talked about it before, the Lions will need to take another step forward on the field and with that record. to the championship committee. It is an 11-person committee with its primary function to oversee the championship, including the selections, the bracketing, teams that are going to play, the at-large, and they evaluate teams throughout the season. These guys serve as chairs for their respective regional advisory committees, which are very important. And to have Jim as your regional advisory committee person during the regular season, I think is a fantastic choice. Fantastic choice. So congratulations to him, and really looking forward to great things. It is time to move into our plays of the week. And we're going to start right here at Blinn College. Bryson Batts with
Here's
a
a kickoff.
100-yard kickoff return.
And this is going to be returned a couple yards into the end zone. Look out. This is Batts. And a foot race. Can he be caught? No, he cannot. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
Touchdown, Buccaneers. Bryson Batts, 100 yards. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say 102 because in college, in college, let me let this be known. In college, you cannot have a touchdown longer than 100 yards, even on a kickoff return. So that kickoff return officially is 100 yards. That's just how it goes. I do want to point out, watch this block that's going to take place. Let me turn off the sound for us here. This block that comes right there at the 18-yard line, that block, and I don't have the number of who did it, but as you see him right now, he's at the 15-yard line. Watch him come engage this guy and pancake him down. And listen, Bryson Batts, he's coming up a few more times in this plays of the week. And we will talk a whole lot more about him. That was a 100-yard kickoff return. Staying with Blinn, they had a 66-yard touchdown in the second half.
Emerson. He's got wide open Johnson out of the backfield. Johnson down the sideline. We'll count it down. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Blinn.
Lauren Johnson, 66-yard touchdown pass. He was wide open. Jack Emerson found him, got it to him. Johnson took care of the rest. And this game, as you could tell by looking at the scoreboard, right? Like last time in the 100-yard kick return, Bryson Batts, that brought Blinn up, tied. This gave him a lead. Listen, this was a back-and-forth game. It really was a terrific game. All right, we're going to leave the Blinn Kilgore game for a minute because we're going over to Tyler, and we're going to see one of Ashton Searl's touchdowns, this one of the 33-yard variety.
You see that? Oh, he's gone. Is that number 8?
Oh, it's number 8, and he is gone. And listen, for Tyler, you look here, when he comes up there, look at that blocking. Look at the blocking by the lineman to get up to the second level, to get onto the linebackers right there. Well blocked. And also want to give the wide receiver here, number 7, credit. Coming in, doing his job to block. And then Ashton Searl said, I got the rest, man. Broke one kind of ankle tackle attempt, and it was free sailing to the end zone. Fantastic job. Big win by Tyler. Really good way to start after the defense of the SWJCFC title. And, hey, they were national semifinalists last year. Next, we're going to go to Cisco's game. Their lone touchdown is one you have to see. Randall Jackson took this handoff and goes 72 yards.
Northwest.
He's pretty good. Uh-oh.
Here's a big hole up the middle, across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30 down the near sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5 it in, touchdown Cisco. That is a 72-yard run for the big man, Randall Jackson, as he stumbles down the near.
He is a big man, and he's a fast man, and uh-oh is right. And this was one of those that good blocking, especially at 52. There was a guy blitzing up the middle, picked him up, sealed the edge. And once Jackson got through, he had the one linebacker to beat. Did not have a good angle on him. And then it was off to the races. And number 4 almost caught him, but that block by the wide receiver, and I want to say that's number 14. The block by the wide receiver that, if you're Hutchinson, you're going to say, hey, he's holding because he won't let go of the guy. But he's trying to get away, and then all of a sudden he's like, all right, you can go. And it was too late. Randall Jackson was on his way to the end zone. Great touchdown for Cisco. And that got the Wranglers on the board there in the second quarter. All right, so we're going back to Blinn for these last 2 plays of the week. And if we're going to Blinn, we're going to Bryson Batts. This one is not a touchdown, but for it to rank where it is right now, this run is just incredible. Let's just take a while. Just enjoy Bryson Batts here.
They snap it with 1 on the clock. Batts. Boy, look at Batts go. Again, Batts. Finally down at the 45-yard line.
This is going to be a fun player to watch all season as we watch it back again if you're watching the stream live. Listen, Kilgore, they did exactly what a defense does, right? They flowed to the point of attack, and they had him. It looked like they had him wrapped up, but then he escapes. He backs up. Then you've got a block by, is that the quarterback? Is that Jack Emerson, number 16, on the screen? That is. He is at the 10-yard line, 10.5-yard line right now, throwing a block on a linebacker or an edge player. Throws a block there. Bryson Batts then makes somebody. He just, the number 4, no chance to get him. And now then he's got speed. Fortunately for Kilgore on that one, they had somebody who had the angle to get him down. But that is just a terrific run. But it's not as good. I'm telling you. This play, 56-yard touchdown run by Bryson Batts. It is a highlight you must see.
He'll hand it off to Batts. Batts got it.
Try again. Hopefully the internet can come up with me here. Let's try that again.
Long. He'll hand it off to Batts. Batts got away in the backfield. Look at Batts explode through the line. And he's just giving Blinn the lead with the touchdown.
And that touchdown ended up being the one that Kilgore never scored again. This run, let's go back and kind of look at the anatomy of the greatness that is Bryson Batts right now. At 1st and 10, your own 44-yard line, you hand off, and immediately he has somebody in the backfield. He comes to a complete stop and spin at the 40. Then he's got another look. You can't blame the Kilgore defense here. If you're the Kilgore coaches, yeah, you're probably talking some fundamentals breakdown, but it's not that they're not doing things 100% right or perfect here. It's that Bryson Batts is hard to stop. Another defender there, he just turns and uses that speed to get a right around him. Let's make a point here and look at this again. Number 16 at the 44-yard line, setting a block. This is the quarterback setting a block. When your quarterback is setting the blocks, that says a lot to your offense when they look over there and see your number 16 throwing blocks against edge and linebackers and stuff. And he had another good one there at the 44. Just gave Bats enough time. 2 guys converging on him. Not a chance. Way too fast. And once he got through that line, he exploded. Again, is that poor number 4 again? Yep, that is. Poor number 4 breaks down at the 40-yard line, says, okay, I've got you here. No, you don't. And he is gone. You are not catching him. I'm not putting Bryson Bats on my Tim Burns Jr. train just yet, but I will tell you that he's on his way. He's on the path. If I see a couple more games, I'm like, this guy could be different. He'll be playing FBS next year. I don't doubt it. I have no doubt about it. That's the end of the show for this Monday, August the 24th. Thank you so much for listening wherever you catch whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Please download, subscribe, like. If you're watching on YouTube, Substack, or Facebook, please follow, subscribe, like, push those buttons, get us in, and let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of these. We'll be clipping some of this to put out here individually. The plays of the week will be clipped here in a little while. I'll be back Friday. We have a lot going on this week. Stay tuned to CoryHogueSports.substack.com. Don't forget, check out March to the Pod, the number 2 podcast for Sam Houston. We got football predictions this week. The over-under is 3.5. I've kind of given my point where I think it's going if you watch the last episode. Until Friday, have a fantastic week. Stay blessed.
Clear, sharp and bold, covering every team, every season, every story worth being told. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations bring the truth.